The night Daniel Carter almost died, the house did not make sound. No wind, no insects, no ticking clock. Even silence seemed afraid. At 2:17 a.m., Daniel's eyes snapped open. Something was standing in the room. Not a person, not a shadow, not a dream. The air bent inward, as if reality itself was being pulled toward a single, dark point near the corner of the ceiling. Slowly, horribly, that point unfolded. A figure formed. Its body was taller than the walls, yet pressed inside them. Darkness leaked from it like smoke underwater. Two eyes burned open, ancient, furious, inhuman. Daniel tried to breathe. He couldn't. His chest felt nailed shut. The thing glided forward without touching the floor. With each movement, the room grew colder, heavier, wrong. Then the voice arrived, not through ears but through bone. You have crossed a line that cannot be uncrossed. Invisible fingers wrapped around Daniel's throat. His vision shattered into sparks. He tried to scream. His mouth moved. Reality ignored him. The voice sank deeper. You stole what belongs to me. The grip tightened. Daniel's heart slammed against death itself. The shadow leaned close enough that the darkness touched his face. And it whispered, slowly, lovingly, cruelly, "You married my daughter." The room cracked. The walls trembled. Then came the promise that froze Daniel's soul. "Now, I am coming for your life." Suddenly, air exploded back into his lungs. Daniel jolted upright, choking, soaked in sweat, his neck burning as if real hands had crushed it. The room was empty, silent, normal, and beside him, sleeping peacefully, was his beautiful wife, Lily. He still did not know. The monster who tried to kill him was her father. Daniel Carter was a simple young man living in the quiet town of Ravenhill. He worked in an office by day and spent his evenings in the town park, where the tall oak trees whispered secrets in the wind. Daniel was kind, sincere, and had a heart that always believed in goodness. He never thought his life would take a turn that would drag him into the darkest mysteries of existence. One autumn evening, as the leaves fell like golden rain, Daniel noticed a girl sitting alone on a bench in the park. She looked as if she had stepped out of a dream. Long dark hair, graceful movements, and eyes that seemed to hold both light and depth. Her name, she said softly, was Lily. She spoke with warmth, and her smile was gentle, the kind that made Daniel forget the world around him. From that day, they kept meeting. At first by chance, then by choice. Sometimes in the park, sometimes in a little coffee shop by the corner of Willow Street. Their conversations flowed like music. Lily always listened with care, and Daniel found himself sharing dreams he had never spoken aloud. Slowly, love began to bloom. Quiet, deep, unstoppable. One evening, under the glowing streetlights, Lily whispered her wish with trembling lips. "Daniel, I want to marry you. I want to be yours forever." A wedding was arranged. It was simple, yet magical. Candles glowed, music filled the air, and the people of Ravenhill celebrated their love. Daniel and Lily held hands, looking into each other's eyes with promises unspoken yet deeply understood. After marriage, their days were filled with laughter, their nights with soft whispers. For a month, life was pure joy, like a beautiful dream. But dreams sometimes carry shadows. Daniel began to feel strange things. At night, the walls stretched with dark shapes, forming tall, shadowy figures. He would hear a voice, deep and thunderous. Then one night, the shadow entered his dream. A towering figure loomed over him, and a deep voice growled, "You have committed a dangerous mistake." Daniel woke drenched in sweat, his heart pounding. He told himself it was only a dream, yet the fear felt too real. But next time again, the shadow came closer, half dream, half reality. Its words struck harder than before. "You have committed a dangerous mistake. You will have to suffer. Your end is near." Each encounter grew heavier, more terrifying, until finally, the shadow roared with thunderous rage. "You cannot escape. I will kill you. You have committed the most dangerous mistake. You married my daughter. You will suffer. I will kill you." Daniel's heart trembled, but he kept silent. He did not want Lily to worry. Yet, the horrors grew stronger. Sometimes the shadow would grip his arm with an icy strength and hiss, "Your end is near." Yet again, one afternoon, when Lily had gone shopping in the town market, the entire house began to shake like an earthquake. Daniel froze as the shadow appeared, taller and darker than ever, eyes glowing like fire. Its hand wrapped around his neck with terrifying power. "Do you know what you have done?" the voice roared. "You married my daughter. Leave her, or I will kill you. This is my last warning." The figure vanished, leaving Daniel gasping for breath, trembling, and burning with fever. When Lily returned, she found him collapsed on the bed, his face pale, his eyes full of fear. She held his hand and begged him to tell her what was wrong. And for the first time, Daniel revealed everything, from the first whisper of the shadow, to the warning, to the near-death grip upon his neck. Lily's face darkened. Her eyes gleamed with an unnatural fire. For the first time, Daniel saw her as something more than human. She held his hand tightly and spoke in a trembling voice. "Daniel, forgive me. I am not human. I am a witch. I kept this from you because I feared you would never accept me. But I could not live without you." She wept, then continued, "I first saw you in the park with your friends. That moment, I knew I would marry no one but you. My father forbade me. He beat me, cursed me, demanded I marry a ghost of power. He told me humans are never faithful. But I refused. I told him again and again I would only marry you. He swore he would kill you if I disobeyed. That shadow haunting you is my father." She placed her hand on his chest. "Do not be afraid. I will protect you. My love is stronger than his hate." That night, the storm returned. The father appeared again, taller than before, his shadow shaking the very walls of their home. His voice rolled like thunder. "You ignored me. Tonight is your last night. Prepare for your death." He moved toward Daniel, his shadowy arms stretching to strike. But Lily stepped forward. Her disguise fell, her true form revealed, her aura glowing like lightning, her voice louder than thunder. "Father, I have always respected you. But if you touch my husband, my love, I will fight you with everything I have." The father roared, "Then you will die with him." And so the battle began. The air split with fury. Darkness clashed with light. Flames burst from Lily's hands, while shadows stretched from her father's form like weapons. Windows shattered, the floor cracked, the house groaned under the force. Daniel stood frozen, eyes wide with terror, as father and daughter fought, a fight between love and wrath, between blood and choice. Finally, with a scream of pain and love combined, Lily unleashed her final strike. Her father's shadow shattered, his form breaking into ashes of darkness that vanished into nothingness. His voice faded, echoing, "You betrayed your own blood." And then silence returned. For a moment, the ashes of darkness hovered in the air, trembling as if deciding whether to disappear or return. The lights flickered once. The temperature dropped, and Daniel could have sworn he heard a final breath. Not from Lily, not from the storm, but from something still watching them from the cracks of the world. Then everything went still. The storm was over. Lily's glow dimmed. She returned to her human disguise, the gentle woman Daniel had loved all along. She walked to him, tears streaming, and rested her head on his shoulder. "Have I proved my true love, Daniel?" she whispered. Daniel held her, his voice breaking. Yes, you have." He then asked, trembling, "Why didn't you tell me before?" She smiled sadly. "Because I feared losing you. I thought you would never accept me. But I was willing to live my whole life as a human, to hide my true self, only to be yours. Now you know everything. Will you still love me?" Daniel kissed her hand gently and whispered, "Yes, my darling," even more than before. They embraced, their love stronger than ever. And from that day, Lily promised to remain in her human form, faithful and devoted forever. But still sometimes Daniel noticed little things about Lily that no ordinary woman could have. In the mirror, her reflection seemed to linger a moment longer than her body. At night, her eyes carried a faint glow, soft like moonlight. Even her shadow sometimes bent at a strange angle against the wall. But Daniel never felt fear. He could not understand the reason fully, so he convinced himself these were God-gifted signs of her beauty, blessings that made her even more special. Instead of worrying, he smiled at them, as if his wife's uniqueness was another miracle of love. Dear friends, this was not just the story of a witch, but of a true, loving friend who proved that true love is stronger than fear, stronger than curses, and stronger even than blood. Sometimes, love is so powerful, it can defy the very world we live in. Years passed quietly in Ravenhill. Daniel and Lily lived like any ordinary couple. Morning sunlight touched their windows, laughter filled their home, and neighbors spoke of them as the happiest pair in town. To the world, they were simple humans living a simple life. But night still remembered them. Sometimes, when Daniel woke before dawn, he felt the air turn heavy, the same way it had on the night death first visited him. Lily would be standing near the window, staring into the darkness outside, perfectly still. "Lily," he would whisper. She would turn slowly, her eyes glowing faintly like moonlight reflected on water. As she would smile, soft, loving, human again. "Just listening to the world," she would say. Yet the shadows behind her never moved the same way twice. On quiet nights, Daniel noticed that Lily's reflection in the mirror blinked a second later than her body. Sometimes her shadow touched the floor before her feet did, and sometimes, in deep silence, the wind outside carried a distant voice, not angry, not loud, but unfinished. A whisper that only the dark could understand. Daniel never asked. Love had already taught him one truth. Some hearts are brave enough to marry light, and some are brave enough to marry the dark. Every love story has two sides, the part the world sees and the part that breathes quietly in the dark. Daniel chose love over fear, and Lily chose sacrifice over blood. But remember, not every shadow truly dies. Not every curse fully ends. Sometimes, the strongest love is not the one that feels safe. It is the one that survives the night. And if this story stayed in your heart, or whispered to your imagination, then you already belong here. The night still holds many more tales of love and mystery, waiting to be told. So, until the next shadow calls your name, stay close.